President Trump has sent a strong message to the BRICS countries, demanding they commit to blocking any currency that could rival the US dollar. He made it clear that his administration is determined to keep the dollar as the global reserve currency, and warned that any nation challenging this would face severe economic sanctions, including 100% tariffs. Late last year, Trump issued a direct statement. There's no chance BRICS will replace the US dollar in international trade or anywhere else. Any country that tries, he said, should expect tariffs and say goodbye to America. Earlier this year, Trump reaffirmed his stance, making it clear on social media. BRICS countries trying to undermine the dollar will face heavy consequences, including being shut out of the vast US market. He emphasized that these nations must make it clear they won't create or support any currency that challenges the dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs. Despite Trump's warning, Brazil's BRICS presidency is pushing ahead with reforms aimed at reducing the bloc's reliance on the US dollar. Brazil is championing initiatives to make international payments smoother and cheaper by using new technologies like blockchain. The goal? To reduce friction in global trade and lower transaction costs, all while boosting financial independence. Brazil is leveraging its success with Pix, a domestic payment system that's rapidly replacing cash and credit card transactions since its launch in 2020. Brazil has also introduced its local currency payment system, SML, which already works with Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, allowing direct settlements in Brazilian reais, bypassing the US dollar. While SML transactions currently take up to 3 days, integrating faster payment tech could make them more secure, quicker, and cheaper. BRICS leaders are set to meet in South Africa later this month, during the G20 summit, where Brazil will present its plans for the July BRICS summit. As the group expands, recently adding Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, the move to enhance local currency payments signals a broader effort to build greater financial independence and resilience among emerging economies. The US dollar didn't become the world's dominant currency by chance. It was a product of careful planning and key historical moments. After World War II, in 1944, Allied nations gathered at Bretton Woods to create a new global monetary system, selecting the US dollar as the cornerstone. This decision provided stability and helped the US establish its economic and political dominance. For decades, the dollar was more than just a currency. It represented global hope and prosperity. But by the late 1960s, the system started to show cracks. In 1971, President Nixon ended the dollar's convertibility into gold, signaling the end of the Bretton Woods system and the beginning of floating exchange rates. Despite this shift, the US dollar maintained its dominance, partly due to the petrodollar system in the 1970s, where oil was priced exclusively in US dollars. This guaranteed ongoing demand for the dollar, no matter the economic climate. Over time, the dollar became entrenched in global trade, strengthened by the size of U.S. financial markets and the stability of American political institutions. But Trump's recent warning signals concern over the growing momentum behind de-dollarization efforts. If the world moves away from the dollar, the U.S. could face serious economic challenges, lower demand for U.S. treasuries, higher borrowing costs, and a loss of geopolitical influence. A rapid move away from the dollar would reshape the global monetary order and severely limit America's economic power. The implications would be enormous for global trade, finance, and diplomacy, making it a critical issue for economists and policymakers to monitor. In this video, we'll dive deeper into Trump's warning to BRICS nations and take a closer look at the progress these countries are making in reducing their reliance on the US dollar. Let's start by evaluating the extent of de-dollarization in BRICS economies. These nations have been gradually shifting toward using their own currencies in trade, driven by both political and economic motives. China-Brazil Agreement. In early 2023, China and Brazil agreed to trade in their own currencies, the Chinese yuan, CNY, and the Brazilian real, BRL. This move cuts out the US dollar as a middleman, making trade more efficient and reducing currency exchange risks. In 2022, China was Brazil's largest trading partner, with trade reaching around $150 billion. The switch to local currencies is expected to streamline transactions, reduce conversion costs, and enhance financial independence. Iran-Russia currency integration. Iran and Russia are making major strides in integrating their financial systems to bypass Western sanctions. In early 2023, the two nations connected their payment networks and began accepting each other's bank cards. This partnership allows them to conduct trade without relying on SWIFT, the traditional global payment system. By using Russia's SPFS system, an alternative to SWIFT, these countries can execute financial transactions without the interference of Western sanctions, strengthening their economic ties. India-Russia local currency deals. India and Russia have been increasingly using their own currencies, the Indian rupee, INR, and Russian ruble, RUB, in trade, especially in energy deals. After the West imposed sanctions on Russia in 2022, the two countries ramped up their use of local currencies, with Russia becoming India's main crude oil supplier. This setup allows them to sidestep dollar-based payment systems, protecting both countries from external financial pressures. South Africa's shift to yuan. South Africa, the smallest economy in BRICS, is also moving away from the dollar. In 2023, South Africa signed agreements to settle certain imports, like machinery and electronics, in Chinese yuan. This reduces the country's reliance on the dollar and increases yuan liquidity in African markets, making trade more efficient and less vulnerable to dollar fluctuations. If you've enjoyed the video so far, we'd love to ask for a quick favor. Hit the like button. It helps us reach a wider audience. And sharing your thoughts in the comments? That makes an even bigger impact. Thank you for watching. Now let's dive back in. BRICS Pay is a decentralized payment platform launched by the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Its goal? To enable smooth cross-border transactions in local currencies, reducing dependence on Western-dominated financial networks like SWIFT. The initiative strengthens economic sovereignty for BRICS members. Launched in 2018 by the BRICS Business Council, BRICS Pay taps into national payment infrastructures, like Russia's Mir network and India's UPI, to enable efficient international payments. It allows users to send and receive payments in their native currencies, simplifying conversions and cutting transaction costs. BRICS Pay operates on advanced blockchain technology, ensuring secure, transparent transactions. It combines centralized domestic systems with decentralized international structures, maintaining regulatory compliance while providing technological flexibility. For local transactions, systems like Mir, UPI, and UnionPay work seamlessly. Internationally, blockchain facilitates direct peer-to-peer transactions, eliminating intermediaries and enabling real-time, efficient settlements. Blockchain's distributed ledger guarantees unalterable transaction records and supports smart contracts for automated conversions and compliance. BRICS Pay's adaptable design makes it scalable, handling growing transaction volumes while maintaining efficiency. The platform's interoperability ensures smooth transactions across different national payment systems. By optimizing liquidity flows with real-time local currency settlements, BRICS Pay becomes a competitive alternative to traditional financial networks. With this, it aims to reduce the US dollar's dominance in global trade, promoting a multipolar financial world. For BRICS nations, BRICS Pay gives them more control over their financial dealings, reducing vulnerability to external pressures and sanctions. At the 16th BRICS Summit in October 2024, BRICS Pay was unveiled as a blockchain-based cross-border payment solution. The live demonstrations emphasized its potential to challenge traditional financial networks. The BRICS countries share a unified goal: strengthening their financial stability and reducing exposure to currency volatility and geopolitical risks. This strategy goes beyond digital payments. By accumulating gold reserves, BRICS members are fortifying their financial independence. As of mid-2024, the group holds roughly 1,600 tons of gold, 21.4% of the global reserves. Russia leads with 2,540 tons, while China follows closely behind with 2,260 tons. Brazil notably has nearly tripled its gold reserves since 2018. The gold accumulation and BRICS Pay are part of a broader plan to reduce reliance on the US dollar and assert financial sovereignty. By diversifying their reserves, BRICS nations shield themselves from sanctions and enhance their control over monetary policy. Gold acts as a hedge against external financial risks, positioning BRICS economies to weather global economic fluctuations. This gold strategy also sends a powerful signal. BRICS is actively working to reshape the global financial order. Their combined efforts demonstrate a commitment to building a resilient, self-reliant financial ecosystem. Together, they aim to reduce dependence on traditional financial systems and the US dollar. De-dollarization, the global move away from the US dollar, is driven by multiple factors. A key motivation is economic sovereignty. The dollar's dominance grants the US significant influence over global economies, and many countries are looking for ways to regain autonomy. Moving away from the dollar also helps nations avoid US sanctions, which often restrict access to international financial systems. Additionally, there's a growing trend of reserve diversification. Countries are shifting away from holding large portions of their reserves in US dollars. This diversification strategy helps distribute risk and reduces the dollar's monopoly. Geopolitics also play a role. Powers like China and Russia are working to promote the use of their own currencies, challenging the US's financial influence. Regional agreements, such as the one between China and Brazil, are increasingly using local currencies, reducing the dollar's role. As emerging markets grow in global trade, they naturally lean toward using their own currencies, reflecting their growing influence. These factors collectively point to a global shift toward de-dollarization. Now let's turn to Trump's warning to BRICS. In a recent statement, Trump emphasized the need to preserve the US dollar's dominance. He threatened severe tariffs on any country that attempts to undermine the dollar. Trump's stance aligns with his broader strategy of using tariffs to protect the dollar's supremacy. His administration has already explored measures to penalize nations engaging in non-dollar transactions, such as designating them as currency manipulators and imposing tariffs. Trump's rhetoric has escalated tensions, especially as BRICS countries move closer to developing their own alternative payment systems. His warnings reflect the growing concern within the US about losing financial influence. As BRICS progresses with its initiatives, it challenges the US's economic dominance, signaling a shift toward a more multipolar global financial order. This development isn't just a challenge to the dollar. It's a broader declaration of financial sovereignty and a push for a more equitable distribution of economic power in the 21st century. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you or sparked some ideas, consider liking it and subscribing for more content. Your support means a lot to us. You can check out another video on the channel now.